This your boy Daniel Lyonsden Evans, and you are live inside the den. And this is story time inside the den. And the next episode starts right now.
It's that soul shit. Hey, yo, Ash, you a fool for this one. It's like
It's a video.
it's like this beat just singing.
Video. Punch out button.
Pain in my soul. Yeah. Pain in my soul, let it rain from my soul. Gotta find myself, that's the goal. Wrote myself a letter, that's from soul. All that shit, it came from my soul. Tryna find a way to let it go. But my diamond in the rough, but still a rough diamond. Pressure made me, I'm blowing up like I'm detonating. Found my passion, you can't separate me, yeah, I'm levitating. I know you thought you knew me, but I promise you ain't know me. And even if you knew me, I ain't nothing like the old me.
So tonight we have a very special episode. This is called Storytime Tonight inside the den with your host, Daniel Lyonsden Evans. So I have a very special guest with me tonight. And this is the first time we've actually shot in this location. But this is my living room here in my home inside the den. And so right now, all the way from Gulfport, Mississippi, I have on the set inside my home is my mother, Margie Evans. Y'all give it up for my mama, Margie. And Mom, this is the whole world. This is Facebook. Everybody on Facebook right now and everybody on YouTube going to be watching it. This is my mom. Now, oftentimes, people ask me things like, are my parents still living? And where do I get some of my mannerisms from and things like that? And where I get some of my sense of humor from? And I will let you all know that my mother is very funny. She's a sit down comedian. So a lot of my personality, and as far as the quick on my feet, telling jokes and things like that, I get it from my mom. So tonight we decided to take advantage of this rare opportunity to just let you all inside my home and give you all the insight on some of the things that I went through in my past. Because another question people asked me was, how was it like growing up inside the home with Daniel Lyonsden Evans? They ask my family that stuff, sometimes my brothers and things like that. So you're going to get a first take look on the inside scoop on how I was coming up and some things that I went through. Some of these stories are kind of embarrassing, but it's all fun. It's all love. So the first story me and my mom was going to tell you all about is the time that I went to school and one of my teachers told me that I looked like my mom and I came home crying. So it's a very funny story. Let my mom start off by telling the story, and then this is going to be the first take of Story Time Inside the Den at Night with Margie Evans, my mom, on the scene. So Mom, you remember the story, right?
Yes.
So tell everybody how you remember the story.
The way I remember it is funny now, but it wasn't funny that day. Daniel came home crying, crocodile tears. He was so upset when he came
Now hold on.
home.
So you say stuff like crocodile tears. These people
Means that he was crying so hard.
We have a lot of like slang from down south.
Yeah, he was crying
So
very, very
crocodile
hard.
tears mean I was crying really hard. I was boo-hooing. Therefore, crocodile.
Yeah, I need to look at the camera.
No, you good.
Yeah, so anyway, when he came home crying, I didn't know what was wrong. So as a mother, you know, your child has been away all day, come home crying. The first thing you want to do is ask, what's wrong? Daniel, what's wrong? He cried so hard, he couldn't even stop to tell me what was wrong. So my heart is beating real fast because I didn't know if some of the kids had done something to him or what. Because we know in today's time, kids could be so cruel. So I said, Daniel, what's wrong? He started crying, just crying his eyeballs out. And I said, Daniel, tell me what's wrong. Then he said, my teacher said, so everything got quiet. You know, I'm listening for the rest of it. And I said, okay, your teacher said what? My teacher said, I said, Daniel, what did your teacher say? My teacher said, I look like you. And I said, oh my God. So then I told him, he was still upset. And I told him, I said, well, people see differently. Some may say you look like your mom. Some may say you look like your dad because you're a combination of both of us, really. So he was just steady crying. I don't look like no girl. And I said, she didn't mean that you look like a girl. She just saying you have features of your mother. So he didn't want to buy that little line right there. But it took everything in me to keep from laughing because, it was too funny to me. But I saved it because I wouldn't laugh in front of him. But as soon as he got out of there, I went in the bathroom immediately, looked in the mirror to see what was wrong, that he was upset that they said he looked like me. So that was his teacher, Miss Franklin. She had saw us in the grocery store at A&P that day. And so the next day when they went to school, that's when she spoke to him about it.
So I guess, Miss Franklin, that was her first time actually seeing my mom or seeing
Right.
me with my family. When you are a school teacher, you might see your students out in the public, or you might not see them at all, and you might only see them at school. So growing up in the 80s, you know what I'm saying? My mama old school, you know what I mean? We believe in wherever you act a fool at, that's what they're gonna tear your tail up at.
Yes.
So it was during a time where, you had to, mama would go to these PTA meetings, and she would go to all the school meetings with the teachers and things like that. And based on how bad the kid was, you might have to say, call your mama down here for a conference, or call your mama down here and you act a fool. My mama used to come to school quite often because, it was four of us, me, my two brothers, and then I had an older sister. But when you got boys, normally you got to go to school a whole lot to deal with these boys because they always doing something wrong. But when mama comes to school, everybody in my classroom will always say, "Oh, your mama's so pretty. You got a pretty mama." But it's like, how people, mama come to school, they say, "Who mama that is? Who mama that is?" And you looking around, "Who mama that is?" You trying to act like you doing some work because you been misbehaving, but you want to act like you doing some work when your mama come catch you. You want to get caught acting a fool, right? You want to get caught doing some work. So I should always act like I'm doing some work. So my mama came to the school a couple of times, and they started noticing her face. So Miss Franklin was probably one of my first schoolboy crushes on teachers, and you get a crush on me. Man, Miss Franklin was so fine. I had a crush on Miss Franklin, so whenever she said something, I believed it. So the day she saw us in the store was her first time seeing me out with my family, and she saw mama. "Oh, your mama's so pretty. You look just like your mom." I'm like, wait a minute now. Hold on, wait a minute. Stop the tape. For all my life, I've been hearing I look like my daddy. I'm the split image of him and all this kind of stuff. But when she said I look like my mama, I came home crying because I didn't want to be recognized or be thought of looking like a woman. If I got high cheekbones or something, or if I got a big old booty or something, I don't know what that meant. So at that age, I was like panicking because if I look like a woman at this age, then what they gonna think about me when I get older? So I just didn't want to be referred to as being a woman. It was nothing against my mom being. Like I say, my mama. Everybody know that my mom was pretty, and I was always get compliments on how pretty my mama was. But I still didn't want to be look like it's being, looking like a woman and stuff like that. So that's why I was all in my feelings. And just so y'all know, just to check you all, what I am drinking right now is not alcohol. This is Bojangles sweet tea. Just had to let y'all know because I know some of y'all probably looking at me all funny because I got my mama sitting here and y'all thinking that I got some alcohol in here. This is sweet tea. My mama don't believe in drinking stuff like that. So, respect my mama.
Thank you.
But anyway, that was one of the stories that she tells now with so much humor.
It's
So
funny.
she loved talking about some stuff about me crying and stuff like that. So she'll tell that story to everybody and make it sound like it was just the worst thing in the world. But I just had to endure that because, me and my mama do look alike. You know what I mean? As an adult male now, as a man, I look for those little clues to my DNA. Y'all want to know why I do certain things, and it's part of my DNA to do certain things. So just having somebody to say I look like my mama. When I was a kid, wasn't a good look, but now, yeah, I don't mind it so much because I know I got my own, personality and things like that. So that's the first story. Second story we're gonna talk about is when my kid brother, my baby brother, Tim, y'all know him as Tim. We know him as Timothy.
Mhm.
I remember when he was learning how to spell his name. He used to do this little dance. Timothyevans. He was doing it. Keep doing it. Go do it again, boy. Do it again. My mama, do it again, Timothy. Timothyevans. Do the whole little dance.
Yeah.
So, but Tim, uh, I was just turning 6 years old, and so for some of y'all who know or who have seen my other shows and know that it is a household tradition for me that on my birthday I get my birthday meal every year, which is
Red beans and rice, fried chicken and cornbread and
what kind of bread? Say it again.
cornbread and Kool-Aid.
So everybody might ask me about a party. I don't want no party. I don't want none of that. What you want for your birthday, Daniel? What you want to cook for your birthday? I want some red beans and rice, cornbread, some Kool-Aid, fried chicken, and what else? Chocolate cake.
Yeah, chocolate
cake. So I was turning 6. My brother had just turned 1 year old, and he was in a high chair. He had to eat in the high chair. I don't even know if they still use high chairs now and then in today's society, but I know back in the day, babies get in a high chair, and it was 2 meals that babies would always love eating in the high chair, and they get all food dirty. That was what? Spaghetti. Because they'll spin the spaghetti all over their face. And then what was the second?
That chicken and macaroni and cheese or something.
Macaroni and cheese. So
we love macaroni.
It was my birthday, and so my mama had cooked my food and put it on the table, and we was getting ready to sit down as a family and eat. And I don't think my daddy was home yet. He worked at Eagle Shipyard. It was just us, and my mama had let my brother out the high chair because we was doing something. And the way my mama cooked, my daddy got the big piece of chicken. You know what I'm saying? The red beans and rice, even though it was a meal for me. My daddy got the ham hock, out of that pot. And in the South, it's a rite of passage when you able to get that ham hock. That's when you done got a little older. Mama give you that ham hock. Now, I don't know if she put 2 of them in a pot or whatever, but
2.
I know that the ham hock is my daddy's, and I get 1 piece of chicken, and because my daddy gonna get the big piece. So with that being said, I ain't gonna, I can't just go and just get more and more chicken. So I'm sitting down getting ready to eat my dinner, and my little brother running around the house like Chucky from the movie Chucky. All you see is just his feet. And like, look up, he gone. He be like a shadow, and you see he be gone. Like, where that boy at? The man Joker reached his doggone little Chucky hand on the table like this and grabbed that chicken off my plate and ran off with it and started biting it. I'm running around the house chasing after him saying, "Mama, Timmy done stole my chicken. Timmy done stole my chicken." Yeah. And she's like, "What's going on?" He done stole my chicken. I'm chasing him down to try to get that chicken because I'm going to take it out of his mouth and I'm going to put it in my mouth because I ain't having 1 piece of chicken. She was like, "Boy, you could have got another piece of chicken. I got more than 1 piece of chicken." Well, I don't know. Hey, you telling us to sit down and eat and we only get 1 piece. So I thought that if I didn't catch this jug with my chicken, that I wasn't going to have no food on my plate. Am I accurate, or did the story happen like that?
Very true. Very true.
And what else that little joker used to do whenever, besides steal off people's plate? What he used to do?
What else?
His nickname is Timmy Turtle.
Oh, Timothy Turtle. He used to go get them little bitty small turtles. Where do you get them from?
Like the little ditch or creek or whatever. He would go and get these little turtles.
Small turtles. And they was calling him Timmy Turtle.
And he used to take them and decorate them and stuff.
Take them to school and sell them. He sell them to the kids. Every day he had some turtles he was selling.
And then he was a fan of Ninja Turtles when they came out.
Ninja Turtles.
He had the Ninja Turtle bed spread and curtains and all this kind of stuff. But that joker, when he grabbed my chicken, boy, I was about to put him in the oven and roast him like a rotisserie duck for taking my doggone chicken.
Yeah.
Crazy joke.
But Daniel was the only one out of all 40 children that didn't want a birthday party. Timothy and TJ, they had one together because the birthday was like the 25th and the 28th. So that was a party for both of them, wherever they wanted to have it, bowling alley, Chuck E. Cheese, or wherever. Daniel's birthday was in August and that was in September. Asked him what he want. He said, I don't want no party. I said, well, what you want? I just want some fried chicken, cornbread, and red beans and rice, and Kool-Aid. And I said, that's it, and chocolate cake. So his birthday was easy to
So let me see
to
if you
do.
remember this, because I know after you get to a certain age, you start forgetting stuff.
And I probably don't forgot them.
What was on top of the chocolate cake? What kind of sprinkles was on top of the chocolate cake?
What? Them little colorful ones?
What was it? What kind of sprinkles was it?
The sprinkles.
No, see, coming up, I was a huge fan of dinosaurs. I used to love
the little bitty
dinosaurs.
dinosaurs.
Used to love Tyrannosaurus Rex,
Oh.
all dinosaurs. So when she bought the sprinkles, she bought the dinosaur shaped sprinkles and put on top of my cake.
Oh, okay.
So that what made it more special because I got the dinosaurs on top of my cake. You forgot about them dinosaurs.
Well, I can't remember everything, and that's been many years ago.
I know. I'm
But
just.
I knew there was sprinklers, but
Yeah.
yeah.
So she
Tried to make you have a happy birthday.
Happy birthday. We're so glad you came. happy birthday from the Ryan's gang. We're so excited. We hope that you are too. So have a happy birthday from the Ryan's crew.
Happy birthday.
My mom used to say that song.
Yeah, we used to sing that.
She worked at Ryan's Steakhouse for what? How long would you work down there?
Oh, 16 and a half.
16 and a half years. And this is pre-Katrina. She worked at Ryan's Steakhouse. And every time somebody came in with a birthday, the whole crew would get around them and sing that song.
That birthday song.
Happy birthday. And after Katrina, Ryan's Steakhouse didn't decide to rebuild on the Gulf Coast. I guess it was too expensive to build, knowing that you in a hurricane zone and you're gonna have to be threatened with a storm every year. So they never built back. So that was just some memories about.
But everybody loved that. Everybody loved that restaurant.
Yeah.
On Sundays when church was out, everybody came running. You go in there, it look like it's a storm or something. It be so dark up in there, and took up all the lightning that was in the restaurant. With the bodies.
Really?
Yeah.
There's been a lot of black
stayed
people
full on Saturday. Yeah.
Anytime you can make a light room turn dark, because
it was both. It was black and white.
So
on Saturdays and Sundays, those were the busy days. And then plus the buses would come up. That place stayed busy all the time. You had to be ready at all the time. But it was a good place to work.
Every time I come in there, you was always handling it.
Yeah, wherever I go, I'm gonna handle it because that's what I'm there for. I love what I do. Yeah.
Yeah. So how long you been retired? Now my mom is retired from working now, so she
2 years on the 30th of next month.
30th of July?
July 30th.
2 years.
2 years.
How has it been since you've been retired?
Oh, it has been so wonderful. I done did my duty as working, and now I get to just sit back and enjoy, do if I want to do. Don't want to do nothing, I don't have to do it. When I get ready, I ain't punching nobody's clock. So it's just amazing. On days it's real cold when you had to go. If you didn't want to go, I ain't got to go. Raining real bad, storming, I ain't got to go. So it's just awesome. And I just thank God for it.
That's awesome.
And now I get to spend time with my oldest son, Daniel, for a little while.
Well, I mean, I said you ain't got nothing to do. You retired now, so you ain't like you got to run back to a job.
No.
When you was in your working years, you go on vacation.
Yeah.
You got to be back by Monday, or you got to put in time on your job, and you got to be figuring out how you're going to do all this. So now it's like you can live the life you always wanted.
And I'm
going to tell y'all something about my mama. The reason why retirement is so rewarding for her is, if anybody know me and my family, they knew for a long time, many years, my mama worked 2 jobs.
Yes.
She kept 2 jobs. So a lot of people wonder how you got all these different businesses that you run at the same time. Well, I come from good stock because I'm gonna work 2 jobs for a long time. So if she can work 2 jobs, then I can run more. I can run more than one business at a time. So
Exactly. You have
uh,
to set an example.
so being able to. So what's your favorite part about being retired?
Just being on my own.
Not having to wake up in the morning. Huh?
Get up when I get ready. 9, 10 o'clock. If I ain't want to get up then, just stay there.
Do you ever still set your alarm clock for certain things?
You know what? That clock is still set because a lot of times I still take my medicine, maybe that time that it goes off. But I don't get up for work. It was hard in the beginning when I first retired because after working all your life, you get 65. You don't worked all your life. The alarm clock don't just stop. You know what I'm saying? That's been your routine. So I had to remind myself in the mornings that, oh, you don't have to go. So then one morning I got up to get dressed, and then I said, what are you doing? And I laid back down. I said, oh man, I don't have to go no more. But I do go back up there, and every time I go, they were like, Miss Marge, you coming back? Oh no.
So you never going back, huh? Never, ever, ever,
I go
ever,
back
ever.
and visit, to see them at lunchtime or something like that. But I tell them the same legs that were hurting when I left, they the same 2 legs I got now. They still hurt. Arthritis is no joke.
Arthritis.
So now I get to sit down when I get ready rather than stand on my legs for 8 hours on the job, trying to tolerate the pain and everything. I could just get off of them. So that's the blessing within this.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
What is one of your fondest memories as us being kids? What was one of your fondest memories of, or what made you the proudest in our childhood as you being a mother of 4 back around 85, 88-ish? What was one of your fondest memories of being a mother, having saying when you say, man, I'm so proud of my kids, they doing this? What was one of those moments?
Yeah, I'm always saying I'm proud of you, even as of today. But back then, I was proud because y'all was good children. Y'all grew up in the church. So it was in you. And y'all got along with one another. So love was very important. And then how y'all got together, where your dad got you and made a record. He did a 45 record with the family and the other children's in the neighborhood. So those were my proudest moments because when we went from church to church, and we went from church to church, and the people would sit there and listen to the family sing, and they would just love listening to them and stuff. So that made me feel real proud that my kids would get up there and just sing. So singing has been in them because it was in their father.
So I was a part of a gospel music group when I was coming up, and it was very similar to the Jackson 5, but we was a gospel version.
Mm-hmm.
Daddy would make us rehearse, and we would be singing these songs. It was me and my 2 brothers.
Mm-hmm.
My sister was part of the group, and then we had 2 of my brother's friends were part of the group. Had a cousin that was part of the group, so it was a family group.
Mm-hmm.
That's how it was similar to the Jackson 5 because it was all family. But I think it was I was 6 years old when I walked up to my dad, and after watching him and seeing him and in and out of his truck, used to take me fishing and stuff like that. Me and at the time, my younger brother TJ, Timothy wasn't born then, before 85. I used to actually like admire my daddy. And then after my brother Tim was born, we do all things all together, me and my 2 brothers and my dad. I walked up to him one day, I was just watching him and moving around and say, when I grow up, I want to be just like you. You know what I mean? And yeah, at first, I think he was flattered, say, that's every man's dream to have their kid or their son or their seed walk up to him and say, I want to be just like you. You know what I mean? So at this point, I was just doing, I know what I've seen. I told my dad I want to be just like you. My dad would say, you don't want to be like me because I done a lot of wrong in my life, son. You want to be like Jesus who's done no wrong.
Mm-hmm.
Pattern your life after him.
Yeah.
And then my mama even said the same thing. You want to be like Jesus, And I remember telling my daddy, well, I don't know Jesus. I know you. I know my daddy. I don't know nothing about Jesus. But we was going to church every day. I just didn't know of Jesus. And that's when my daddy took me and he actually taught me about Jesus and introduced me to Jesus, introduced us to Jesus, because at that age we was old enough to learn and understand what was going on. So it was in 86. So right around 87, 88, I remember my dad was he always used to be on, like, have a notebook, writing stuff down. I said, what you doing, Daddy? What you doing? It might have been a Saturday morning. He eat some cereal. Our family cereal choice was Frosted Flakes. So he'd be at the table eating some Frosted Flakes and might have had a donut or something like that. Y'all know about the donut and Frosted Flakes from my other story when I swallowed that gas. Yeah, I had some Frosted Flakes and donuts that morning. So my daddy at the table with some coffee, donut. He eating some Frosted Flakes. He got a pad. He writing some stuff down. And I said, Daddy, what you doing? He said, oh, I'm writing this song. I said, how it go? And then he started giving me the words to the song. Do I have to smoke? Do I have to drink? You know I want to be like you.
Yeah.
Do I have to lie? Do I have to cheat? Daddy tell me what to do. So he wrote that song based off me coming and telling him I want to be just like him. And that was one of our most popular songs. Second to the first song he wrote for the family was Child's Prayer.
Right.
And he wanted to be a family group. So he invited my mom to sing on the track. And my mom, she don't consider herself a singer, but she's on the record. She 1988, Child's Prayer. He would hear her in the room with us when we get ready to go to bed at night. She have us all lined up on the bed, and she would have us saying our prayers. So since we didn't know how to pray, we had to repeat after her. And how did the prayer go?
Now I lay me
Down
to sleep.
He after her. Down to sleep.
I pray the Lord
I pray the Lord
my soul to keep.
my soul to keep.
If I should die
Before I wake,
I pray the Lord
I pray the Lord
my soul to take.
my soul to take. So that was her prayer in the song. He made a whole song about that called The Child's Prayer. And we sung that song, and I don't know if you would call it the chitlin circuit, but it was throughout all the churches, in the gospel community. We would get invited to these, we call them singings back in the day. I don't know what they call them now, programs or whatever, concerts, so I don't know. But they used to be called singings. And we would go to these singings, and we would have like maybe 2 or 3 songs to sing. We would sing Child's Prayer, which is the one my mama just sung. And then we would sing Daddy Tell Me What to Do, which is the one that I would sing. And then we might have sang 1 or 2 more. But I was, considered at that time, I was the lead singer of the Gulfport Community Christian Choir or something like that. I think the name of it. And we had a good time. And that was really one of my earliest experiences in being able to be in front of the public, So some of y'all don't know that I had a speech impediment when I was a kid. I used to stutter real bad, and so I was really quiet and shy. I didn't want to do a whole lot of talking because I didn't want to get stuck on a word and then embarrass myself. But I never had that problem when I was singing. So when I was singing was the most comfortable part because I didn't have to worry about stuttering or have to worry about nobody laughing and all that, but still self-conscious about myself and all that. But so we sung those songs until probably when I discovered football. It just didn't feel the same being up there at 150 pounds solid muscle, lifting 300-400 pounds, and then talking about Daddy tell me what to do. So when I got to be, I didn't outgrew the song because I think at 12 years old, I was going through puberty and my voice started changing. It wasn't cute anymore. When I was 6, do I have to smoke? Do I have to drink? You know I want to be like you. Do I have to lie? Do I have to cheat?
Yeah.
Daddy, tell me what to do. Everybody was cute. Oh, he's so cute. Oh, he's so handsome. Look at his little cheeks. Just like Michael Jackson when he Jackson 5 and all that kind of stuff. When I was 13 years old, do I have to smoke? Do I have to drink? You know, I want to be like you. Do I have to lie? Do I have to cheat? Daddy, tell me what to do. It wasn't going to work for me.
You pass it on.
So, to keep the group going, keep the songs and stuff going, my dad just stopped writing songs. He kept writing songs, right?
Mm-hmm.
He passed the song to my little brother Tim, and he was the one that was singing it. But so the old fans, they knew whose song it was, but the new fans, they thought it was his song.
Yeah. Yeah.
And then as we got older, you know, my brother still is in the music as far as like tries to recreate some of those moments with his own kids. He got kids and stuff like that. And my dad, you know, I just visited him for Father's Day. And you know, sitting down talking with him, my father, about some of the things in the past and just kind of getting that wisdom. And you know, this is Mufasa to me. You know, y'all look at me a certain way. I look at my dad like, man, this you created me. This is Mufasa. And just talking to him, and you know, when you get older, you never know when your day is gonna come to an end. And you know, let me go down and spend time with my dad and look him in his eyes and see, you know, if his light is getting any dim. You know what I mean? And so what we did was a couple of years ago, me and my brother Tim and even my brother TJ, we actually he recorded, you know, a song that he wrote, and everybody had a chance to participate in the song to give homage to my father for all the work he put into music, and take one of his songs and remix it, modernize it, and then record it. So I think it might have been 2-3 years ago for Father's Day. We presented the song to him at Tim's house.
Right.
And they had me on video.
Oh, yeah.
So I can see the reaction for when he heard the song for the first time.
Yeah.
And I'm going to tell you, with when he heard the song, he couldn't even get through the first verse of the song before Waterfalls came.
Yeah, touched him.
And that right there, that was priceless for me.
Priceless, yeah.
For you to see, like my father was always this strong man, didn't show a whole lot of emotions. I only see my daddy cry maybe 2-3 times, maybe in his whole life. But to see my daddy cry on that song that we recorded for him, that was priceless.
Yeah, beautiful.
That was freaking priceless, man. In my life, man, that was probably the best gift that anybody could have gave him. Was that song to
Y'all
hear?
gave back to him.
Yeah, to hear his legacy, you know, live on. I was talking to my mentee last night. I was talking to Sober Purpose about. I asked him, "How long do you want to live?" And he said, "I want to live to be 100 years old."
Okay.
And I said, "Well, how are you going to live to be 100 years old if your family bloodline only lives an average of 60 to 70 years?
Yeah.
How are you going to live to be 100 years old?" And he said, "Well, the way I see it," he gave me his point of view. I told him, "Son, take the glasses off." Made him take his glasses off. And then I said, "You said the way you see it. Take the glasses off. Now I'm going to give you a different perspective on how to look at this thing." And this is what I told Soul for Purpose last night. I told him, I said, "Look here. You want to live to be 100 years old. When you turn 50 years old, create a legacy that when you pass away, your legacy can live to be 50 years old. A body of work. You put together a body of work, and when you pass away, somebody can take your body of work and make it last for 50 more years, and you don't live to be 100 years old." Michael Jackson will never die because Michael Jackson's legacy is going to live on forever. There are kids right now that was born in 2020 can do the moonwalk, can do all Michael Jackson, and they ain't never seen him perform live a day in their life.
Right.
They know all his moves. How is that? Because his legacy is so strong, long after he's gone.
Oh, yeah.
They're going to carry his on. So he will probably live to be 150 years old. Michael Jackson, rest in peace. So The next story that I want to attempt to share with you all is this one probably gonna be a little bit more sentimental to my mom because you got the childhood seeing your kids grow up, and there comes a time in your life as a parent where you have to learn how to say goodbye and be able to trust that everything that you've done to your in your kids' life that it was the right thing. Because as a parent, you never really know. I'm going through that now with my kids because my kids are, I got a 25-year-old, I got a 20-year-old, 19, all these different ages and everything. And so I'm like, I wonder if they learned anything from me. You know what I mean? And so I don't know. You never know until the kids are tested. So after I graduated high school, I wanted to keep my body in shape because I didn't know if I was going to ever play football again. But I wanted to be in position if the opportunity presented itself in the future. So what's the best way to keep my body in shape and get paid for it so I'm not just laying around like a bum if an opportunity came up? So let me go join the military. Which branch to join? I don't know. But I want to join a competitive branch. So Marine.
This your boy Soulful Purpose, Soulful Designs, executive producer of Inside the Den, and I have a public service announcement. I'm excited to let you all know that the 2023 first edition Pride of the Lion magazine is here, y'all. It has arrived, and it is available to you all, the public, for only $30 a copy. Also, if you're an entrepreneur or a business owner, we currently have ad spaces available for exclusive, limited time only pricing that will be presented right here on our screen. Listen, these things are selling fast, so get your copies now while supplies last, and as always, you heard it from the den.
And so one of the things that I tell my people when it comes down to when is the right time, like you said, you're going to get to the point where when your season has changed, God will start making it uncomfortable for you in your current season, and that will provoke you to get sick and tired of being sick and tired. Now, one of the things that how God deal with me is if I'm in a season too long, and He's trying to push me into a new season, He will cause for me to be stagnant and unsuccessful in this current season, and He will draw everything up, and I would have to make a change. But some people get to the point where when they got to that point of sick and tired, then they still fear. The fear comes from being fear of failure. The fear of failure is one of the things that keeps people from going all in. But understand that failure has to be part of your success. Every successful entrepreneur, every successful business person, every successful person that's done anything significant, they had to deal with failure. Correct. Marine Corps is the most difficult boot camp that you can go through is a Marine Corps boot camp. I wanted to go to the Marine Corps because of one reason. If I decided to switch branches and go to another branch, I'd have to redo boot camp if I go through Marine Corps boot camp. Okay. But in the other branches, if they wanted to join the Marine Corps, they have to go through their boot camp and they have to go through our boot camp. And I didn't want to go through this thing twice. It's only so much you can take when you're getting broken down and being brainwashed and all this kind of stuff. So we had a family discussion, and I had let my parents know that, I was ready to test my wings and move on about my life. And so I wanted to join the Marine Corps. My mama was kind of upset about it because, it's this is you're gonna have to be okay with it. It ain't like I'm not asking for permission at this point. I'm just letting you all know what decision that I've made because I was over the age of 18. And you never grow up to your parents. You always gonna be your parents' baby, your mama's baby, and all this kind of stuff. So this particular story is the story of the day I was supposed to leave to go to boot camp. We just had a party the day before. Invited everybody over to the party to celebrate Daniel going away from for boot camp. And so, what do you remember about that story? I'm gonna tell you my version. What do you remember?
The day you supposed to been going?
Yeah.
That day was a very sad day for me because I had to go to work that day. It was on a Sunday, and I was working like every other Sunday, and I couldn't take off. So I had told a couple of the servers like Kelly, Gladys, and Mickey
Still remember their name to this day.
to let me know when he came because I said he was gonna come. He said he was gonna come up there and say goodbye. So I had them on the lookout for him, and I never did hear nothing from him. So after breakfast, that was all right. But when lunchtime came, got to be around 1 o'clock, 1:30. I asked them, "Have you seen Daniel?" And they said, "Not yet, Miss Margie. We looking out for him though." And I said, "All right, thank you." 2 o'clock came, and they still hadn't said anything. I was back there in the back where I was supposed to be cooking. I just broke down right there at my station where I was working at. I broke down and I cried and I cried and I cried. I said, because my son going away, I didn't even get to say goodbye. Don't know when I'm going to see him again. So I was very upset. So when it was time to get off, I went home and we had a horseshoe drive. And I drove up in the spot that I always drive up in to walk up to the house. I sat there for about 15 minutes because I didn't want to get out. I was feeling kind of down. So then I said, well, I better get on out and go on in the house then, because sitting out here ain't going to help me none. Got to the house, went in the house, and I heard the TV on back in the den. Nobody leave the TV on. When we leave, they always turn it off. So I was like, wonder who left the TV on? So then I walk on in there, and his chair was turned facing the TV with his back turned to me as I walk in. And I didn't see him at first, and the closer I got. And I said, Daniel. And he said, ma'am. I said, oh, boy, you didn't go? He said, no, ma'am. I was so happy. I was so happy that they ain't know what to do. I was saying, oh, my God, I'm so happy you didn't get to go. So then the day that he had to go to the recruiting office.
The next day.
The next day he had to go to the recruiting office. So I took him, I was going to take him down there, and we rode together. He said, Mama, I'll drive. So he went on and drove, and he was just talking to me as we was going, saying some things. And everything he was saying was just breaking my heart. My heart was so sensitive. I looked out the window the whole time, and tears just flowed and flowed and flowed. I was like, oh, my son finna leave me, and I just love him so much and everything, So that was a sad, sad day for me, I tell you. I remember like it was yesterday. When he came home, anytime he got ready to leave and go back, it was hard for me to say goodbye. I guess I never liked goodbyes. I love hellos, though. So that's what I remember of it.
I mean, it's pretty accurate. But the other side of the story was I was supposed to have left on a Monday. And so we had the party on Sunday
Right.
for me to leave. And everybody was saying they final goodbyes on Sunday. So it was only natural that if I'm leaving on Monday, like my mama said, before you leave, come say goodbye and all that. And I said, cool. So when I got up that morning to get ready to go to the recruiting office, he said, I got some good news and bad news. I'm like, oh man, here we go. Cause I done went through so much trying to make this happen. I went to go stay, with the recruiter the night before I left. And I had to lose like 6 pounds overnight. I was over my weight, whatever. And it was so crazy because I was fresh out of high school. I was still like in football shape. I'm like, man, I'm built like a rock, man. How am I over my weight? But muscle weigh more than fat, so I had to lose 6 pounds. So he gave me this laxative. It's an old trick they use in the military. Drink that laxative, and it'll have you crapping and pooping and peeing all night long. And wake up, you're gonna be 10 pounds lighter because you done got rid of all your water weight and all that, all your bowels in your system and everything. So when I went to the recruiter office that day, he was like, good news and bad news. The good news is, the bad news is you're not leaving today. The good news is you're leaving tomorrow. Still can get you out of here because I was trying to be home by Christmas.
Yeah.
I chose this date, September 21st, so I know I'll be home a week before Christmas. I do not want to spend Christmas in no freaking boot camp, so let me get up out of here as soon as possible. So when he told me I wasn't going today, I was leaving tomorrow, I I was a little relieved, but at the same time, a little disappointed because I'm like, the longer it take me to leave, the longer it'll take me to come back. So
Right.
I wanted to go, but still, I was kind of okay. Well, I got one more day before I go out there and get on this thing. So my mom was at work all day, depressed because I didn't get a chance to come down there because technically wasn't leaving, so I didn't have to say goodbye. So I went home and got back, back to the house and everything. And my daddy said, "Your mama gonna be mad because you gotta do this twice."
Mm-hmm.
I said, "Well, he said, I ain't gonna say nothing. I'm just gonna, she'll find out when she get home." Because mama's already crying already. I ain't gonna just keep breaking her heart with more bad news, and she knows gonna be crying. So she'll figure it out when she get home from work. So all that day, I was just in the house, just kind of watching TV and watching my favorite movies and stuff. I was watching Temptations and Five Heartbeats and all these movies I used to love watching.
Mm-hmm.
And so by the time she got home, she didn't expect to see me. But when she came in the house, she heard the TV and she was kind of wanting to go investigate what was going on. And when she came in and saw me in there, she was like, "Oh my God, you still here? I'm coming home thinking that you gone." Had to come and face the music because it's almost like whenever somebody passes away and you go back to their room the next day and you really don't believe that they're gone.
Right.
You have to go and verify, make sure they ain't in the closet hiding or something like that, or making sure it wasn't a bad dream, or just making sure that it's really real. And you might be in the house by yourself and hear the cold air of the AC come on, and you say, "Man, it's really real," because all I hear is the AC in the house. You know what I'm saying? Or you might hear a fish tank in the background that you might say, "I remember that fish tank sound." So she came in and verified that I was really gone. I think she might have went to her room first and came out the house and went down the hall and just went around, and then, she probably went. I'm just thinking to myself because my back is turned.
Right.
So I'm imagining she probably went to my room to verify that, yeah, he really gone. Getting that last little cry, my son is really gone, and went down the hall, and then, wait a minute, a little sign of hope. Wait a minute, is that what is that I hear? What's that? Oh my God, boy, you done gave me a heart attack. I thought you was gone. So, but the good part about it is I was able to spend that one last day with her. But the bad part is now she got to do it all over again the next day. How that's going to work when you got to go through the whole thing all over again? I'd be like this, snatch the Band-Aid off me one time so I ain't got to feel that pain again for the second time.
Yeah.
So the next day, like I said, he told me to come back the next morning. And I went down there the next day and she dropped me off at the recruiting station, and it was just like, now this is the final goodbye. Well, I got to go through this twice. I don't know, but so that was a very trying time for me because that was the first time that I ever left home out of state. I had been to my cousin's house, spend the night. I had spent the night at a friend's house. You know what I'm saying? But it wasn't like I'm leaving the state of Mississippi. Now, because we're relocated in Mississippi, I had a choice to go to either the East Coast or the West Coast. So I had a choice to either go to California boot camp or Paris Island. And I thought to myself, well, I'm probably going to get a chance to go to the East Coast at any time because I live on the East Coast. But what's the chance of me getting to California?
Right.
Let me go to California to experience the California West Coast life, and then I'll come back to the East Coast. And so I chose to go to boot camp at San Diego, California. First time on a plane, a little nervous at first. My sister had flew. She had went to Michigan, and she told me, "You got to chew some gum because it's going to make your ears pop. When you get on the plane, when it starts taking off, it's going to make your ears pop. So make sure you break some gum with you when you go, some bubble gum." So I made sure that I left, go get some gum because I don't want my ears popping. I'm thinking, is it's going to pop, make my head explode, pop, or is it going to be popping like popcorn or whatever? Because sometimes when you're in the South, you say things and you mean it literally, like, make your ears pop. And I'd be like, pop, go to Weezer because the Weezer's going to pop. So I got on the plane and went to boot camp, man. And I remember after we landed and getting on that bus, because the airport to the station is like maybe it's literally like right across the street from each other.
Mm-hmm.
But they play so many mind games with you. It was across the street,
Right.
but they drove us 20 miles around, and it's right there to play mind game with you.
Yeah.
You like, ain't we going over there? Well, man, I'm on that bus, man, and trying to talk to the other recruits on the bus, and they're like, "Shut up, knock it up." You like whispering like, pss, 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 pss. "So where you from?" I'm like, "Man, I'm from Mississippi," you know. And we trying to do our little thing. And I remember we first got to the recruiting base, and the bus pull up and stop, and you can almost hear everybody heart beating on the bus, like outside they clothes. Boom, 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 boom. It was dead silence for like 15 seconds. Nobody didn't say nothing. Then all of a sudden, a DIU in the bus would say, "All right, you maggots, get off my bus right now. Get off my bus right now." And you got folks trying to get off the bus. Somebody hopped through the window, get off the bus, trying to just dove through the window, get off the bus.
Wow.
Because you try to get off the bus fast as possible. Trust me, them guys come on the bus like a bunch of pit bulls. And they go to the front of the bus, back of the bus, front of the bus, back of the bus. And they're doing all this yelling and screaming. And they're using words that we don't understand. "Get your trash and get off my bus." Trash? I'm looking, well, I ain't got my trash. You know what I'm saying? Whatever. All these different words, calling you maggots and all that, man. And you gotta get off the bus and you gotta go stand on top of these yellow footprints. And everybody on the footprints standing in formation.
Yeah.
And he walk in front of everybody saying, "Welcome to hell," or whatever, you know what I'm saying? He said, "This is what you chose to sign up for. You know what USMC stands for? You signed the MFing contract. So if you got any complaints or anything, then take it up with your senator or your president, because your behind belongs to me." They did all that little stuff, man. I remember saying to myself, what did I get myself into? For the first time, I was like, did I make the right decision or not? Because I ain't gonna take 3 months of this right here. This dude is off the chain. So we went through this line, man. It's like a assembly line for recruits. Go through the line. They have to delouse you, strip you down, pour this powder on you, spray you down, make you take a shower, go through a line, get all your turn all your old clothes in and get the new clothes for the uniforms and all that. Then you got to go in this line and get your hair cut and all that kind of stuff. They did all that stuff, and we didn't go to sleep for like 4 days. It was sleep deprivation. We didn't go to sleep for like 3 or 4 days. They didn't tell us what time it was, so we don't know what time it was. Our bodies were just shutting down because boom, just always running around. And so so the first week of boot camp is actually called Hell Week, where you go through all this different stuff. You get like 45 seconds to call your family and let them know you made it there safe. And my mom was on the phone. "Oh, thank you, Tom. This Daniel, he on the phone." And they on the phone, and they got the phone together like this, like they, on the same phone, two of them together, heads together, trying to hear me on the phone. And I just had to give them the address. Write this down. I don't want to say it once. This is the address.
Yeah.
Gave him the address. I'm reading off paper address, and then after that, he come by there. "All right, you're done. You're done." He just start hanging the phone up. "Yeah, I ain't getting I ain't tell my mama I love her, man. He cut my phone call off.
Yeah.
She don't think I don't love her, So, so that happened, and then I don't know. I remember laying in the bed the first night, looking up at the ceiling, man, on my bunk, and I remember saying, "Mama can't save you now. Daddy can't save you now.
I'll pray for you, though.
You have to learn. You have to execute what you have been taught over the last 19 years, and you got to make it work. You got to make this count, because ain't no going back home." And I remember I used to say all my mama and daddy quotes used to be in my mind like like on my shoulder, like that little, the guardian angel and the devil on each shoulder. I used to hear my mama voice on this side, daddy voice on this side. I be like, man. So it was an awesome experience to go through boot camp, but I know that that was a bittersweet moment for you because you get a chance to see your son go into the world and be great. But at the same
Right.
time, be nervous about he ain't never been nowhere before, and
Right.
I wonder if he can't swim. Tom, he can't swim. The boy gonna drown in boot camp because he can't swim. We never taught son how to swim, and they probably, it's probably y'all probably had plenty of conversation about. They
Pray for
probably
you.
said, "Oh, he gonna be all right. He's a grown boy."
Yeah,
I
pray
don't
for
know.
you.
But my days come up with all kind of sayings. The more I teach you,
The
the
dumber.
dumber I get. Use your head for more than a hat rack.
Yeah.
I'm gonna smoke your pork butt.
Mm-hmm.
All kind of different sayings he used to say, and those are the things that used to ring through my mind. I'd be like, I was doing something with these recruits, and we trying to do something, figure something out, and they couldn't get it right. I said, "God, dog, it's boy. The more I teach you, the dumber I get." I remember I said it to one of the recruits.
Yeah.
And then so at nighttime we have like an hour to shower and write our letters and read our Bible.
What about the mail you got?
So I'm gonna get to that. So we had a chance to shower,
Mm-hmm.
write letters, read our letters,
Mm-hmm.
and read the Bible. And so I remember like they used to ask us questions about us when we stand in formation, about our background and where we came from and who you from and who you with and all this kind of stuff. And I remember telling them that they asked me, "What kind of work your father do?" And I'm telling them, "This recruit, you got to answer every question with this recruit. This recruit father, uh, used to work in the shipyard. He's a minister, blah, 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 blah." Man, I told him that right there, boy. He ate my tail up for telling him that, boy. Every time he talked to me, he always trying to pick fun at, you know what I'm saying? Being a preacher kid and all this kind of stuff. So the other recruits, they always come to me for advice. I remember trying to go to sleep at night. They come in, "Hey, you want to do Bible study? Can you recruit Evans? Can you do Bible study for us?"
Yeah.
I'm like, "Yeah, what we studying on, And so I was running the Bible studies, and then so my mama, some of y'all know based on previous stories about a young lady named Gina Marie. She was my girlfriend at the time, through high school and then going into the military. Gina was, a part of my life. So they had a little competition going on, Gina and my mama, of who can write the most letters while I was in boot camp, so they can, keep me company in boot camp. Because you get mail call, and it's feel good when you got mail coming through. People are writing your letters, but it don't feel good when you don't get no mail.
Right.
People get depressed and all kinds of stuff. They don't get no mail. So my mama write me like 3 letters a week, like 3 to 4 letters a week.
That's 4.
4 letters a week. Now, how did that side of the thing go when you was writing them letters? How did it go? Because I was on the receiving end of them, but how did they all come about?
Oh, they came about because I had told the recruiter, because he had told us, he said, "Whatever you do, make sure you keep letters coming because they're going to need that for support." And I promised them that I would. We grew up old school. Your word is your bond. So I said I would. I was going to keep my word. I come in after work, putting dinner on, and I go in the den and I begin to write letters. Letter today, skip a day, a letter, and a letter. His dad come in and said, "Marge, what are you doing?" I said, "I'm writing a letter." "For what?" I said, "To Daniel." He said, "You just wrote one, didn't you?" I said, "Tom, I told them people that I was going to write him, and that's what I'm doing." He said, "He ain't even got the first letter. You don't sent 2 more." I said, "Don't matter if he get 10. I'm still sending them." So I just kept the letters going, kept them going, because I said I was going to keep him motivated, in the Lord, keep his head lifted up and all this kind of stuff, because I knew it had to be hard. So let him know that we was back here praying and everything. So that was part of my job. I went to work, came home, wrote letters, washed the clothes, cooked, all that.
Hey, she did it, man. And this is a true testament that I don't care how loyal your girlfriend is. She ain't gonna beat your mama in no letters, man. My mama wrote so many letters to I had to piece them. I had to like put them together, like seal it from the color purple, trying to get them all together in order. She'll write a letter. I get one on Monday, Wednesday, Thursday, and Friday, and I had to put them all. Which one happened first? She be telling me stories about, the dog died, and then this happened. I'm like, well, which one happened? What means? Okay, boom. I've been trying to put them together like a puzzle, trying to figure out which one of them came first.
Yeah.
But she wrote the most letters. I can't remember how many she wrote, but she wrote the most.
A lot of them.
90 days, man. Boot camp, 90 days. And she wrote all those letters in 90 days. She wrote over 100 letters.
Because I knew you had to be encouraged. You were doing something you'd never done before. So you need to have somebody in your ear.
So you was a proud mama when you was watching us on stage sing. We done been on the news.
Yeah.
We done been on the newspaper. We got records out. We got CDs out and cassettes out. We had T-shirts and all that kind of stuff. And we were just normal kids. And so I can imagine how proud you was to see us whenever you didn't have to sing Child's Prayer anymore.
Oh, yeah.
They would just watch us sing and I had to be part of it. And that was a proud moment for you. But I can only imagine, fast forwarding that tape to 10 years later when you see me walk across the stage on the parade deck in boot camp. Tell me what went through your mind when you saw the ceremony, because y'all was there a day before for Family Day, I believe. No, y'all didn't come for Family Day. Y'all came for the ceremony.
Yeah, for the ceremony, we were sitting there.
And so first of all, before she tell you stuff, I didn't know my mom was coming to the graduation.
Right.
I had been my mama had been telling me that your daddy coming, and he might have a surprise, you know what I'm saying, for you when you come. So boom. So it never registered in my mind that she was gonna be there. So I was expecting for my daddy to be there because my daddy was in the Army. I think for him to be there, and that was it. So when did y'all decide to
probably about 3 days before
that you was gonna be coming?
Yeah, and I told him, just don't say nothing. Just leave it like it is. So when that day come, he will be surprised. He said, okay, I'm not. He wasn't writing you no way, so I don't know how he was going to tell you. But I just said, well, just don't say nothing. So when we got there, I was just overjoyed about it and everything. And we were sitting there watching it. You was coming out on the field, how y'all march. But a mother can spot a child a mile away. And we looked and we pointed out, there's Daniel's right there. Daddy said, there go Daniel right there. I said, sure is. I cried during the whole ceremony. I cried all the way through. Because I was happy that he had done accomplished that. And I was able to see it with my own eyes. And I was just happy to see him because I hadn't seen him in 3 months, So I was very happy.
So y'all spotted me from a mile away.
Yeah, Spotty looked out there. He said, hey, that was Daniel Boone right there. And I looked and I said,
call me Daniel Boone. That was my nickname.
Yeah. He said, it looked like he done lost a lot of weight. And I said, yeah, it looked like he have. So me, him, and my cousin, we went.
So after the ceremony was over with, I came out and met my family, and they had a chance to meet the drill instructors. And I remember it was Staff Sergeant Flanard was the tall, skinny black guy that came over, and he was like, "That freaking Evans is awesome. You got a nice young man here."
Yeah.
And it was so funny because I used to do imitation, impersonation, and stuff like that. So I used to imitate him all the time. When people got so used to me imitating him, they used to, call me Junior Fernard or whatever, like a little nickname. Cause I had his voice down pat. But when he went over and met my parents, man, he was like, for the whole time, he would mess up everybody's name. He would screw everybody's name up.
Wow.
I'm like, this dude must be illiterate because he just can't. I mean, the dude said his name was Fire Abin. And he called the guy Fireball. The dude said his name was Palacios. He called the dude Presidio.
You about like me.
You know what I'm saying? Just mess up everybody's name. So all of a sudden, after we graduate, He knows everybody's name.
He get it
I
right.
say he must be doing it on purpose. Cause how you gonna go from calling somebody something and then you call them the right name
he
in front of their family?
Yeah.
So that's why I knew they be playing mind game with you,
Right.
man. Cause he was calling this one dude out his name the whole time. When he met that guy's family and said, you know, he just called him, you know, talking about it right now. I said, I thought he didn't know that dude's name. He knew it. So it's funny. It was crazy.
Yeah, I remember when you didn't know I was there. And I came out there and touched you. And you turned around. You were so happy and surprised. You was like, oh man, you came. You made it. I said,
what did I ask you to bring me?
Candy?
No, what was my special request? You don't remember?
No.
I asked my mom to bring me double stuffed Oreo cookies.
Oh, the cookies.
She bought me 2 packs of double stuffed Oreo cookies. I'm gonna tell y'all something.
Because you couldn't have it.
Yeah, so I had been without it for 3 months.
Right.
But I was an Oreo cookie fan. Like I love Oreo cookies. So got the Oreo cookies she brought me and some Pringles. Some barbecue Pringles, Oreo cookies. I ended up missing my flight to come back home.
Wow.
So I had to stay in the airport for a whole night.
Wow.
And catch the first flight that next day. So while I was in the airport all that time, guess what I did?
What? Eat cookies?
I ate every last Oreo cookie in both of them packs. Every last one of them.
In one night?
All of them cookies in one night.
Oh, that was a lot of cookies.
I'm talking about, I was like, what goes up must come down, what go in must come out. When I got home finally in Gulfport, or when we was in Social, everything came out black.
No cookies were
I had
black.
them cookies come out, they came out all black.
Yeah.
I was like, man. So yeah, I ended up eating all them cookies in the airport, and I ended up getting sick and all that. But I couldn't help it, you know. I couldn't resist.
Right. You was craving them.
I had it. I mean, when you go without something for a long time, you know, you be really craving it. But yeah, that was that's just the highlights. You know, when you got to watch my other show to get the details about boot camp. Because I do tell a pretty and deep story about my time at boot camp, but this is just the highlights of it. So, so what do you think about everything? You got a chance to sit down and
yeah, it was awesome. First time being on your show.
you got one of my shirts and everything.
And got the shirt on, your logo and everything. I usually be watching it from Facebook myself, but now somebody be watching me, so it's real cool.
Yeah, I want to do this, man, because like I say, my mom was here for a while. She's gonna be hanging out with me for about a month and everything, and haven't had a chance to have her on anything for my show, and I feel like this would be something she can watch later on down the road and be like, boom, I was on the show, and it give me a chance to let you all know, you know, who I come from. I got good genes, good stock. You know, you saw my I don't know if y'all got the video where I was talking about my dad and everything, but you know, he gonna be on it too. But I was on when I came home last time. I had her brother. When I say I miss my Uncle Charles, y'all, that's her brother Charles.
Yeah, Charles.
Sat down at his house in his man cave, and he gave me a real good time, and we had a real good conversation with Uncle Charles. And Uncle Charles was on my show last year, also through the video.
Okay.
Talking about the situation with the kid had to shot them black folks and with the gun at the parade at a protest.
Yeah.
Forgot his name, but so he was on there talking about that. Because that was years ago. But I just try to have everybody on there. My brother done been on here. His son done been on here. My sister's son done been on here. So
yeah.
I want to get my people on so they can say they've been part of the Lions Pride and part of the show Inside the Den.
Yeah.
So with that being said, you all, this has been Storytime Inside the Den with your host, Daniel Lyons and Evans. And for the first time, I have my mother, Margie Evans, on the show. And I want you all to remember her because she will be in some stuff in the future. But this is who I come from. and everything. So you got anything else you want to say to people before we get off this thing here?
I would just like to say that I'm thankful for this moment, being here tonight with the Lion Den Pride, and that Daniel is an awesome child. My oldest son, they all are great kids, and I'm proud of his accomplishment, what he's accomplishing in life. I mean, he's doing very well in so many different angles and all. And he come from a good family. The whole family mostly is spiritually. So we trust God for everything. We put God first, and we know that He would direct our path. So I'm thankful for him being here in South Carolina, North Carolina.
In the north.
Yeah, North Carolina, where he has no family, but God is always with him. So I don't worry. And I thank all you all for supporting him.
There you go. You heard it from the Queen Lion herself, the lioness of my mother. And for all you all been watching me on Facebook, we thank y'all for tuning in and spending this time with us. I don't even know how long we've been on. I ain't been keeping time or whatever, but I didn't want to keep y'all up past your bedtime. Some of y'all got to go to work in the morning, but it's now 12:20. And so I'm going to be up for a while doing the editing and everything. So if you're on YouTube, this is going to be the edited version. Going to be airing sometime by Saturday. And if you are on Facebook, this is the live version. So there's no edits here on Facebook. So whatever you see is what you get. You saw me get up and cut my fish tank back on because it had went off when I hurt my fish flapping in my back and behind my head. He was flapping. Make sure he's good. This is on Facebook. This is live. So you right here on Facebook. So you got somebody that you want to talk to? Your sister Laura, she might be watching. Carolyn, you talked to her earlier.
Shout out to my family. My older sister Laura, Rosemary, Flossie, Carolyn, Linda, my brother Charles, Jerry, Wayne, my little niece Kenyatta, my friend Lillian Harley, church member, St. Luke Baptist Church, Pastor Mark Turner. I think that's all of them.
That's everybody?
I think I included everybody.
Okay.
Those that I missed, don't charge it to my heart. Charge it to my brain.
All right. All right. So listen, this has been an awesome time with y'all. Thank y'all for joining us on this episode of Storytime Inside the Den. We will see you all soon. And as always, you heard it from the den.
Peace.
Also, y'all don't forget, I got my Lions Pride apparel out. You can come get a shirt, a suit, an outfit. Inbox me your sizes and everything, your phone number, location, where you at. Let y'all know the prices. Also, if you all follow me on Facebook and Instagram and TikTok and all my other social media platforms, don't forget about the Pride of the Lion. The magazine is out now. Get your copy today for only $30. I am doing a promo special next month for women's empowerment. If you are a entrepreneur, you're a woman, you have a story, maybe you survived breast cancer and you want somebody to know your story. Maybe you have a clothing line, you want somebody to know about it. Maybe you sell paparazzi jewelry, you want somebody to know about it. Maybe you are a preacher, a minister, and you want somebody to know about it. This is your opportunity to get in the magazine. And I'm not charging anybody for any advertising space. This is all going to be a free month for women's empowerment. After this episode, after this volume, the next one is going to be back at regular price again. But you all go get your copy of the magazine and support the business, because we're doing this to help other entrepreneurs. We're working on mentorship programs coming up here in the near future. I have the Lions Mane mentorship program, where I'm talking and targeting young men who don't have a father presence, teach them how to change tires, teach them how to tie ties, teach them how to tip, how to date a woman, how to go on a date and pay a bill, teach them how to cut grass and do things that their father would normally teach them. So Lions Mane mentorship program, I'll be reopening that up here soon. Look out for Proud of the Lion. The book is coming out in August. Want to have it out by the end of August, around my birthday. So you all support that. I'll be turning 43. What's 43, Mama?
Your number, isn't
That's
it?
my high school football number. It's
Yeah.
been me all my life. So I'm gonna be turning 43. So the book gonna be coming out. And then Soul for Design, Soul for Purpose is gonna be working with me on my very first short film, Proud of the Lion, the movie. So it's a trilogy. The magazine, the book, and the movie, same title, Proud of the Lion. It's a project I'm gonna be doing. I'm gonna be opening up to people in the community who want to be part of my movie. You all can inbox me and let me see what you all can do. I'm gonna be looking for local people to help me with this project and be part of this movie. And I'm also gonna be they're gonna be releasing the movie Rockstar, gonna be coming out here pretty soon in July. When you get a chance to see me on the darker side of things as I portray the character in this movie, and you all have a chance to see me with my acting debut. This is my debut of acting, so my first time doing it. So all these different things coming out. Y'all stay tuned for season 4. Season 4 of Inside the Den will be out this November 15th. So be ready, be ready, be ready. Like and subscribe, and don't forget hit the notification button on my platforms so you all can keep up with me and see what's going on inside the den. Once again, I want to thank you all for joining us and sitting down with us. I know it's past midnight, but I wanted to go ahead and go live because I know that a lot of y'all would love to see my mother live instead of waiting until the edited version. And she did an awesome job. So y'all give us a thumbs up, give her a heart, give her a like, give her a round of applause for coming on here and not being so nervous like she used to be back in the day when she was doing Child's Prayer. Yes. So look. Hey, give me some more hearts for my mama.
Oh, they throwing
Give me
hearts
some
up.
more hearts and thumbs up for my mama. I saw somebody give me some. Give me some more hearts for my mama. I want her to see the hearts on here. Y'all give my mama some more hearts and thumbs ups for her being on the show. So yeah, inbox me with your sizes for your for the clothing line. We're working on that, getting that ready to launch and everything. The magazine, the book, the movie, everything is coming out. We're doing good over here inside the den. Season 4 coming out, and then season 2 of Storytime Inside the Den will be out next year, 2024. So we working on good things and big things. So you all have a good evening. Thank you. And like Russell Simmons say, thank y'all for coming out. God bless you.
God
And good
bless you.
night.
Good night.
It's that soul shit. Hey, yo, Ash, you a fool for this one. It's like
It's a video.
this beat just singing to me.
Video. Punch up awesome.
Pain in my soul. Yeah. Pain in my soul, let it rain from my soul. Gotta find myself, that's the goal. Wrote myself a letter, that's from soul. All that shit, it came from my soul. Tryna find a way to let it go. But my diamond in the rough, but still a rough diamond. Pressure made me, I'm blowing up like I'm detonating. Found my passion, you can't separate me, yeah, I'm levitating. I know you thought you knew me, but I promise you ain't know me. And even if you knew me, I ain't nothing like the old me.